Hey everybody, welcome to my video series about SabreCSG. Specifically, this video is going to be about Subtractive mode and Nav Meshes. I had some problems with Subtractive mode and Nav Meshes. I didn't have problems using Additive mode and just building stuff up and putting a Nav Mesh on top of that. I had no problems with that. But when I created a thing and I dug something out of it, and then I tried to make the Nav Mesh inside that with ramps, I had a lot of problems. But I figured it out with some help from sabresaurus themselves. So I want to show you what I've learned so far. First, make a new CSG. You have to have imported SabreCSG. Maybe that's obvious, and then make it big, and then I'm going to make another one, a subtractive one inside of it. I make it big by dragging these yellow handles. I'm going to move it down a little bit. And then I'm going to, like I said, make another one inside of it that's subtractive. So I duplicated it. And for that one, I'm just going to move each edge in a little bit. Move that one in a little too much. And I'm going to move the bottom up a little bit. Now, if you're in the navigation tab, many of these buttons don't work. So if you have problems, that's the first thing to check. But go back to the inspector and hit rebuild. And it should create this, except I didn't make this one subtractive. So I'm going to hit S to make it subtractive, or you can select it here, hit rebuild, there we go. And now we've got a pit in which to place things. Now first thing to do, let's try building a nav mesh right on top of this pit with no AI or anything to show that it works. The untitled scene needs saving, yes. So bake, doesn't work, why not? Well, nothing is set to static yet. So I actually emailed the SabreCSG guys. Let's have a chat. They got back to me really quickly in a matter of a couple of hours, and they said that yeah, they do work. What you need to do is mark the CSG model as navigation static, and then it's a pass that comes after building the CSG. So you have to say rebuild and then go do the nav mesh. I'm going to go to the CSG model and not these applied brushes. There's a gotcha here. It's easy to click applied brush, one of these, and go to object and click navigation static. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to the CSG model, and although it doesn't show up here, I'm going to go static, navigation static right there. No, this object only. This works for me. So then I'm going to rebuild. And then I'm going to go to bake, and see what happens. Okay, that didn't work. But let me go back to this and rebuild this and go back to navigation, bake, nothing. There's some trick here. Let me try this. I'm going to go object. I'm going to make it navigation static. I'm going to go back to the inspector. I'm going to hit rebuild. I'm going to go back to navigation and bake. Okay, it baked something, but it just baked a cheese layer on top of our French onion soup. That's not what we want. Go back to this brush and make it non-static. Rebuild. I'm going to hit save even. Go back to bake, and it went away. So there's some combination of doing this stuff that makes it work, and I haven't figured out exactly what it is. Let's just keep trying stuff, because this has worked for me. What if I did yes, change children? Does that work? Bake. No. Now what it did, you can see that there's a nav mesh on the bottom and on the top. But that's not what we want either. So what if we make the subtractive model non-static? Bake. Didn't do anything different. And what if we make this one non-static? Save, rebuild, navigation, bake. That's better. So I assure you, I don't know exactly what I did. You guys probably saw that I did something different, but I believe that right now, if I go to the inspector, neither of these are static, but this is. Oh, okay, it's all static. Okay, maybe that's what matters. But it's static, and now the navigation mesh goes around the edges that are thick enough, and on the bottom. That's what we wanted for a mesh. I warn against making these static, because so what we had before was this. If I add another applied brush and it's just half the width, then it's subtractive, and I say rebuild, and then I go to navigation and bake. It sticks a hole in between where, just on the border of the difference between the two. And a bunch of other negative artifacts happened when I started making additive and subtractive brushes static inside this one CSG model that's already set to static. So I'm going to recommend, and I think that the sabresaurus guys would too, that you just make this one static. Next, so now we can make an additive brush that makes a ramp up to the top without too much trouble. Okay. Thick enough, and then switch to vertex mode. Grab this line, drag it all the way down. Let's see if that does the trick. Rebuild. Bake. Yeah, you can see it's connected down here and up there. So that's a solid working mesh that'll go. You can make ramps, you can make tunnels, you can make anything with this. So it took me quite a while to figure this out. I was trying a bunch of other approaches, but with the help from the sabresaurus team and some trial and error, I got it working like this. So I wanted to show everybody. Thanks for watching this, and I appreciate that. And I hope you'll watch other videos of mine, and I hope you'll tell me what kind of other videos you want to watch. And I hope you'll subscribe to my channel if you want more stuff like this. Thanks.